Beeple sold an NFT for $69 million. An artist who was recently just selling $100 per piece is now a million times rich. $69 million. Let's just let that sink in. When we talk about technology, there's so many things happening, right? Another innovation that is very particularly important, especially in this day and age, is the concept of tokens or non-fungible tokens. And if you look clearly, this is the first of its kind auction at Christie's. An artist was able to sell it for $69 million. Somebody was also willing to purchase that digital art for $69 million. So this is actually what the art looks like. So the title of that artwork is The First 5,000 Days. And this is Beeple's collage selling for $69 million. And I'm going to show you also what are the other assets or what are the other tokens or NFTs that are selling and that are being sold out there and how much were they able to sell them. The first one, of course, is 69.3, the one that I mentioned. The seller was Beeple. And the other ones are the CryptoPunk, which sold for 7.6, and then another CryptoPunk 7.6. And take a look at this. The first Twitter of the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, sold for $2.9 million US. So actually, it's a good thing also because Dorsey donated his proceeds to charity. It sold for 1,630.55 ETH. And it's actually, Dorsey tweeted the tweet on March 21, 2006 at 4:50 p.m. Another one was the Axie Infinity virtual game, the Genesis Estate, which sold for 1.5 million. And then another one, 1.6. And then the Rick and Morty, The Best I Could Do, sold for 1 million. And the LeBron James Cosmic Dunk sold for 0.2 million. So these are just some of the examples of what's out there, the NFTs or the non-fungible tokens, an innovative asset, an innovative crypto asset that's now taking the world by storm. Hey everyone, this is Dr. Lowell Sala once again of NYC Emerging Healthcare Technology, your go-to place if you want to learn more about blockchain, machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, and web development in healthcare. And also if you want to learn more about digital health. So today, we're not going to talk about digital health, but since this is an innovative product or an innovative asset, we are going to talk about non-fungible tokens. Just what are non-fungible tokens? And later on, I'm going to show you some of the examples of these non-fungible tokens. So before we begin, talking about non-fungible tokens, we have to discuss blockchain because everything is actually stored in the blockchain. So what is blockchain? Blockchain, again, is just, if you've been listening to some of my discussions, blockchain is just a simple digital ledger. So all the data that is stored in the digital ledger can be visualized. You can actually see them. Anyone can verify that ownership of that asset. So this is the blockchain is just a digital ledger. So what the blockchain does is that it certifies if a digital asset is unique and therefore not interchangeable. So this is what makes what makes non-fungible tokens different from fungible, because fungible can be interchangeable, like for example your Bitcoin. So in terms of non-fungible tokens can be used to represent such items such as your photos, videos, for example, audio recordings, and other digital files. So if you have a meme, for example, and you want to tokenize that and then sell the ownership of that meme, you can do that. And these are tracked on blockchains to provide the owner with a proof of ownership. So meaning you own that. And then once you own that, you can do whatever you want with it. You can sell it or do anything or just collect it if you like. Non-fungible tokens also functions like cryptographic token, but unlike cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, as I mentioned, they are not mutually interchangeable. So, as opposed to Bitcoin or all the other currencies in general, they are unique. So, we think when you talk about non-fungible token, think about the collectibles, the McDonald's Dalmatian that you collected when you were younger, or the X-Men trading cards that you played when you were younger. So these are created when blockchain string records of cryptographic hash and a set of characters that verifies a set of data to be unique into the previous records, thereby creating a chain of identifiable data blocks. So what are the uses for non-fungible tokens? When you talk about non-fungible tokens, we talk about digital art. Early in its use case for NFTs, this is what it was actually used primarily, because of the ability of the blockchain to assure a unique signature and ownership of the non-fungible tokens. So if you look clearly at what most, if you look at super rare, for example, you can actually create a digital art and then, tokenize it and then sell it if you want to sell it. And it can also be used as collectibles, so it can represent collectibles like card collections, but in a digital format, and especially in games. So you can also use to represent in-game assets, such as your digital plots of land, which are controlled by the user instead of the developer. So NFTs also allow assets to be traded on third-party marketplace, even without the permission from the game developer. That's totally out, if you think about it, it's totally a new way of looking at ownership. So what are the other uses? If you look at music, musicians can actually tokenize their work on blockchains using non-fungible tokens. In fact, one of the things that we did actually, not just it actually opens up a whole new market, the influencer market. One of the projects that we did last year was we were awarded that one, the Parabellum Award. But one of the things that we did was create a Taylor Swift token. And with the Taylor Swift token, the artist can actually sell those tokens to their fans, or give those tokens to their fans, and then the fans could purchase those tokens, or they could also use those tokens to purchase albums, images or photographs of their favorite stars, or ticket sales. And that's also another use for this. And then for sports, for example, athletes can tokenize contracts so that others can invest into it. They can also, since they're an influencer, they can also use that to have their own tokens for themselves, and then be able to sell that, or to give that to their fans, or sell them to their fans. And this is slightly controversial, Sex workers can also tokenize their pornographic work, allowing for the sale of a unique content for their customers, So, whatever you do, at the end of the day, if you have to work, you have to be able to be compensated for the work that you do, even if it's, for pornography. At the end of the day, you allow for the unique sale of that content that you own, because you practically own that. And although it's slightly controversial and slightly sensitive topic, at the end of the day, as I mentioned, if you put so much work into it, you should be able to get the same amount of money or compensation from the work that you are providing or giving. So the NFT market has seen a rapid growth recently, with its value tripling to around 250 million in 2020. And in the first 3 months of 2021 alone, more than 200 million were actually spent on NFTs. So this is a growing market, y'all. And the economic momentum of the NFTs in the crypto market has exploded because of a trend towards digital collectibles. And if you look around you, especially with the pandemic happening, a lot of people are doing digital collectibles. A lot of people are doing digital art. And you have to be able to own that art. No one should be able to copy that artwork that you created, so that you'll be able to sell it and get some money from creating those artworks. So what are just some of the standards of creating NFTs? The first one is the ERC 721. And if you're a Solidity developer, if you've worked with Ethereum, you probably know this, because Ethereum is one of the first to actually create these standards. So ERC 721 is an inheritable Solidity smart contract standard, meaning that developers can easily create a new ERC 721 compliant contracts by importing it from the Open Zeppelin library. And then there's also the ERCC 1155. The main difference between 721 and 1155 is that the 721 is mostly for individual assets, whereas the 1155 represents a class of assets. So there's an additional quantity field to represent the amount of the class that a particular wallet has. And the assets under the same class are interchangeable, and the user can transfer any amount of assets to another. So there's also other standards, the Flow, which uses a proof of stake consensus model, which also supports NFTs. For example, NBA Top Shot is on the run on the Flow blockchain. And then Tezos, also a blockchain network that operates on proof of stake, also supports the sale of NFT art. And to show you just some of the examples, the first one we're gonna talk about is CryptoPunks, and then we also have the CryptoKitties. So the CryptoPunks is here. Actually, it's made by Larva Labs, and there are 10,000 unique collectible characters with proof of ownership stored in the Ethereum blockchain. So the project inspired most crypto art movement, and then it's based again on the ERC-721 that powers most digital art and collectibles. So the CryptoPunks is 10,000 uniquely generated characters, and not two are alike. And you can sell them to the marketplace. You can also have the option of buying them. Another one, and you're probably more familiar with this, is the CryptoKitties. So CryptoKitties, you collect and breed your forever friends. So you can buy and sell cats with the community. You can create collections and earn rewards. You can breed adorable cats and unlock rare traits. You can crack puzzles alongside with other players. You can chase limited edition of fancy cats. You can play games in the Kittyverse. And CryptoKitties is just a game centered around breedable, collectible, and adorable creatures we call CryptoKitties. And each cat is one of a kind and 100% owned by you. So it cannot be replicated, it cannot be taken away, and it also cannot be destroyed. So where do you trade your tokens, for example? So you actually go to OpenSea.io if you want to trade or you want to purchase this crypto assets, this new type of crypto assets. So with that, I want to thank you all for listening once again. If you have more questions, feel free to contact, email me, send me a message, comment down below.